And welcome back to Alliance Tournament 11, Day 3, Match 5. We have Rainbow Dash Friends versus Nulli Secunda. Nulli Secunda has brought a rattlesnake Gila drone setup with a Tengu. It's pretty interesting. And Rainbow Dash Friends went with the same thing they had last weekend, which is a lot of Navy battle cruisers and an Absolution. I'm Apathetic Brent, here with CCP Fozzie.
Yeah, so we've got the bands up now on the lower corner of the screen there. You'll notice Rainbow Dash band Dominic, Scorpion Navy. Maybe they're afraid of a heavy Tinker team, these battleship-heavy, very immobile teams, which you could have a problem with this kind of battle cruiser team. It might have damage to break through, it might not.
Yeah, I would think, I understand the premise behind the bans. Obviously get the Dommy off the field because it's just so good at so many things. The Tinker, I don't think they would have had to worry about quite as much because they do have a lot of front-loaded DPS in this comp.
Yeah. So Rainbow Dash has brought a similar setup to what they brought last Sunday, I believe. It's Absolution and then 3 Navy Brutixes, Hurricane Fleet Issue, which is currently the primary for Nulli Secunda, Aneros, some Vengeance, Enyo, Algos, and Curses. It's a lot of DPS. It's a very kind of fun fleet to fly, I think, fun fleet to watch. Nulli Secunda, again, it is a very unusual setup. They've got the Rattlesnake that came in close. It looks like the Rattlesnake was there, as Brent talked about a bit before we actually brought the camera to us, that it might be there as bait. And Rainbow Dash not taking the bait. You'll see that they're all just flying right on past it. There it is on the screen, and they're ignoring that Rattlesnake, which is the smart way to do it. They're moving right to the Scimitar, and then they're going to try to probably see if they can grab a Gila.
Yeah, they've treated this a lot more like a rush comp, where they've just gone straight in, tried to grab the logistics ship off the bat. On the flip side of that, Nulli Secunda's making a really good choice. The Hurricane Fleet Issue can ideally can fit 2 links on it, and it has an okay tank, but not the greatest tank. But I think it's the best choice on the field for them to start with.
Yes, yeah, it's a great one to get off the field. They're taking it down pretty effectively. Right now there's no reps on it, so that Aneros very likely damped out of his lock range.
Absolutely.
There's going to be a lot of damps coming from those Merlins and Harpies, and possibly from the Gilas as well. And the Scimitar, though, down for Nulli Secunda, and anyone that gets caught, and a Gila is webbed, real poison is webbed. Oh, he broke the web, though.
We do have reps applied to the Hurricane Fleet Issue now. The Oneros just has to brawl in, and it looks like that's what he's done because he's tackled now. They should probably just try to overheat. Oh, overheating drones. Yeah, good one. Yeah. They should probably try to burn down the Hurricane Fleet Issue and then switch to the Oneros after they do that. But they do have that Gila re-webbed of real poison, so if they can start knocking down the drone DPS on those Gilas, that'll be pretty good for them.
Yeah, so that Gila is webbed, and he's got all the Brutixes in the Abso chasing right behind him, so he's going to have a lot of damage applied to him fast. At the same time, the Hurricane Fleet Issue about to drop, but and Rainbow Dash is losing frigs. But if they can take down these Gilas, they're knocking down so much of the damage. Gilas get the shield tank combined with all the drones, which means they can fit a lot of drone damage mods, as we see
fireworks exploding
going off
inside the arena.
Gotta love Nulli Secunda's fireworks, possibly putting them into slots on the Gilas that they don't have the CPU or power grid to fit anything more in, because fireworks fit into launcher slots and don't have a lot in the way of fittings. I love when people bring these extra fireworks in. It's a very fun way to add some flair to the match.
Yep. Well, and we've actually, even though Rainbow Dash has lost a lot of ships, it's not the most consequential ships. They might lose their logistics soon, but they still have the bulk of their DPS on the field, whereas the Tengu is down. Was that to a boundary violation?
Yes, the Tengu exploded due to a boundary violation. That was a heavy missile Tengu trying to kite and just flew right out of the arena. That is not good for Nulli. I mean, like, already this was going badly for them when they lost the Gila, but losing the Tengu as well is really, really painful. It's possible they could pull this back if those remaining Gilas stay away and manage not to get tackled for a long time.
They absolutely have to be separated at this point. If they make it easy on Rainbow Dash Friends to just tackle them both close to each other, there's not a lot of travel time, then it'll go poorly for them. But they can pull this back even though somebody was bad enough to go out of the arena.
So it actually looks like Nulli is now, Rainbow Dash is now moving in towards Nulli's Rattlesnake. It looks like they've given up on trying to kill the Gilas right now. The Gilas are quite a ways away from them, and they're moving in on that Rattlesnake. It's going to be a real question whether they can break it fast enough, because they're about to lose their Aneros as well.
I think that I think that Nulli should be committing their frigates right now to keeping these Brutixes just locked down somewhere in the middle of nowhere. make it so they can't apply any of their DPS. Even if you lose your Harpies, it's not that big a deal because those Brutixes will die eventually to sentry drones and without doing any damage if you just leave them out in the middle of nowhere. But as it stands, they are all three on top of this Rattlesnake now, and without a logistics, he's only going to last so long.
Yeah, so the Rattlesnake is active boosting. He's got an ASB running very likely. That, however, means that because he doesn't have all these cap transfers, that's going to have to go on reload. Ancillary shield boosters, for anyone not familiar with them, are a shield module that boosts you a lot of shield back, that doesn't require capacitor to use, but does require these things called cap booster charges, and when it runs out of them inside of itself, it has to reload, and that takes 60 seconds, which it can't be used.
It can run off of its own innate capacitor, but only for a very short period
The
of time.
Rattlesnake of Cal is now micro jump driving. He's activated a micro jump drive. He's in armor. If he can get away, then this is going to be huge because he'll be able to keep applying his DPS with the drones.
It's so close.
And he's out.
He got out. Did he boundary?
Cal,
No, he didn't.
No,
He
stayed
lived.
in the boundary. Excellent micro jump drive by the Rattlesnake of Cal there for Nulli Secunda. In structure, pulling away from these Brutixes, and the Brutixes are currently tackled. The Nulli is doing exactly what you said they would want to do if they were smart, which is getting some webs onto these Brutixes, keep them from moving very quickly across the field, and meanwhile the Helos, which are faster, and the Rattlesnake, which is now 100 kilometers away, are continuing to do damage.
Yeah, with almost completely full structure, regaining shields. The only question is he still inside drone control range? I think the way the drone mechanic works is that his drones will just stay aggroed on the last target, but he would actually have to get within range in order to reapply them onto something else or maybe assist them. But as it stands now, a brilliant piece of flying there. We have 2 Gilas, a Harpy, 2 Merlins that have pretty much free reign over an almost dead Brutix Navy issue, a fully alive one, and an Absolution.
So Rainbow Dash is killing off these frigates that have them tackled. However, that's not going to be enough. These frigates are doing their job. They're sacrificially moving in there and getting tackles on these Brutixes as one of them explodes there. And now there's just 1 Brutix Navy and 1 Absolution versus a Rattlesnake, 2 Gilas, and a Merlin. And Nulli has this basically unless they really mess up.
Yeah, I mean, as long as there's no glaring piloting errors, which I don't think we're going to see because they did so well recently, then this is in the bag for Nulli Secunda. We've got 3 minutes and 45 seconds left, which is plenty of time to mess up, but their job is so easy at this point. As long as they stay away from the boundary, stay away from the Brutixes, which they on paper should be much faster than, then there's no way that they can lose this match.
So the Gilas are a long way away from these Brutixes. The Rattlesnake's a long way away. Right now, the Rainbow Dash pair is trying to just finish killing the Merlin. We'll see who they try to burn towards next, but they're just not going to be fast enough. The Rattlesnake of Cal there has a ASB. He's not using it, though. He's just letting it recharge shield because he doesn't need to. And
he's got the micro jump drive in his pockets as well. And that's pretty much the only way that Rainbow Dash could win this, is take out the Rattlesnake, which, while we're looking at this, he doesn't appear to have a micro warp drive, so he could, on paper, be caught. But even if they do that, we've only seen webs from the Absolution and the Brutix. So at any time, at will, it's going to he'll be recharged on the cycle for the MJD. He can get right back out. I'm surprised to see missiles on that. Maybe that's where the fireworks are coming from.
Yeah, well, those are normal missiles he's firing now, but he may also have fireworks. He just, there is a missile range bonus on the Rattlesnake, so they can apply some decent damage at range. But obviously, it's not their main weapon system. They are primarily a drone ship. But you do see a fair number of cruise missiles on these guys, especially since cruise missiles got increased in power.
Yeah, I suppose that is a good point. It's just in this day and age with Tinkers being so prevalent, usually all those high slot mods are taken up by nukes and energy transfers.
Bombs, lots and lots of cool stuff. This Absolution now of Demos there is the last ship remaining for Rainbow Dash friends. He's going after the Rattlesnake, but he's still a long ways away. I mean, well, now he's probably only like 15 kilometers off. He may be able to finish him off. The Rattlesnake is going to be, the Rattlesnake is now boosting, and the Rattlesnake is aligning, maybe getting ready for another micro jump drive.
Yep. Well, and he was 50 from the beacon, so pretty much as long as he points himself back towards the beacon, he will not boundary violate.
Now he's moving directly away, so if he micro jump drives now, he might be in trouble.
It's a smart move. Kite without a micro warp drive. That's what I would. That's what I would go for as well.
Well, we'll see how well his tank holds up because he does have the ASB running, and this Abso is all by himself. But either way, there's no way that Rainbow Dash Friends is going to be able to kill enough points to win this match. Even if they kill the Rattlesnake, 2 Gilas is worth more points than 1 Absolution. Yep. And that means that he has to kill a Rattlesnake plus a Gila in 1 minute and 25 seconds. There's no way that's going to happen.
No. The Rattlesnake, even without any extenders, any logistics, even once it's out of ASB charges here, it still cannot go down to one absolution in the allotted time.
And we're also seeing something very smart from the Romanian Nelly Helas. They're trying not to replicate what the Tengu did. They're moving fast, but they're in right near the center of the beacon there. They're staying in the middle of the arena. They're not going anywhere near the edge. Because that's the only way they can lose it at this point.
Exactly.
If they went out of bounds, then the Rattlesnake could die and they could lose. However, they're staying in the middle. They're playing it smart. They're going to try not to pull an Elise Randolph and fly out of the arena.
Or an apathetic Brent
for that matter. And they're going to take this match. So that's going to be Rainbow Dash Friends knocked out of the tournament. Whether or not this Rattlesnake and Abso die actually only matters for the pocketbooks of the people owning them, because there's only 40 seconds left. So one way or another, this match will be done in that time.
Pretty tight match in the beginning. Some really solid piloting by Nulli Secunda pulled him out a pretty good victory here.
Solid piloting from everyone except for the Tengu.
Except for the Tengu.
That's got to feel pretty bad, but it would feel a lot worse if his team got knocked out, and they didn't, so he's going to live to fly another day. And Nulli Secunda is moving on through the elimination bracket. Rainbow Dash Friends knocked out. Our next match in just a few minutes is going to be Sicarus Draconis versus Exiled Ones. You're going to definitely want to see that. In the meantime, we'll send you back to Soundwave in the studio.